Hi guys, Pete Mazaris, the Home Inspector Mentor, here to talk to you about process efficiency, home inspecting at its best. So to me, what separates my business from the competition, I think, is something very simple. Very, very simple, yet effective in getting me business and getting me to have more and more referrals from people who we've just met, whether they're realtors or clients, and then having continued referrals for years from what they call the raving fans, right? Those realtors who are in your back, got your back, and will defend you and recommend you to everybody they know, right? They're the super fans. And to me, the way you get there, and the easiest way to get there, and to me, again, I think the best way to get there is to establish a best-in-class system, process. And so that certainly starts with your on-site inspection process. Now, I'm going to talk to you for a little bit about a couple really easy techniques that you can incorporate to have a on-site process that is thorough, efficient, and detailed. And efficiency, I think, is important. What I mean by that is if you are able to identify at least all of the issues in any given house that the next best competent inspector is able to do, but you're able to do that in less time, that makes you more efficient. And I think the quicker you are on site and being able to do that, to do your job, to be efficient, and to be thorough, and to be detailed, and not look like you're rushing, and to take care of the client if they're there or not, and communicate all your findings while you're documenting and entering or collecting the data for that house. To me, to do that as quick as possible and as efficient as possible endears you to your referral sources, the realtor. Okay? Yes, you are working for the client. I understand that, and you need to understand that. But the conflict of interest is that a lot of your business comes from the realtor because they're the ones who have the customers that need to hire us. Again, big conflict of interest, but that's how the game is played. So you have to learn how to play the game well. So not only are you working in a fiduciary responsibility position for your client, you are also having to work for that realtor because you want that realtor to give you more business. So there's a way to play this game, so to speak, so that you satisfy both your client, who's going to give you a 5-star Google review, because that's what you're going to ask for after the inspection. That's also how you build your business. And you want that client to not have any callbacks or have to call you after they move into the house and say, hey, Pete, why did you miss this leaking part of whatever it is, right? And we don't want that client to call the realtor who referred you to say, hey, why'd you refer Pete to me? You know, he's no good at what he does. I don't appreciate that. No realtors want that, right? So we're, as a best-in-class inspector, we're going to catch everything that we can, okay? And we're going to be thorough, and we're going to be deliberate in what we do. But we're going to be efficient. We're going to be quick. In fact, we're going to be quicker than most inspectors that realtor has worked with. And they're going to like that because who wants to be at a home inspection all day long with the home inspector? You think the realtor does? Well, maybe some of them who are lonely do, but that's not the kind of realtor that you want referring business to you, because if they're lonely, that means they're not selling, right? So you want those busy realtors. And those busy realtors do not want to be at that home inspection any longer than they have to be in order to get the job done. So this is where you stand out. Become quick and efficient. Work on your process on site. So without further ado, I think the number one way to efficiency is to, and this is going to be an anathema to most home inspectors, but to me, it's a cardinal sin to let that homeowner, that buyer, seller, or realtor, or anybody follow you around during the inspection. That, to me, is a deal breaker for several reasons. But for this video, I'm just going to suggest that you lay out the expectation at the beginning of the inspection for that buyer not to follow you around and take notes. Okay? You are not there to educate that buyer about how a house works. You are there to identify material defects per the standard that you subscribe to, communicate them in a non-alarming manner, and document them so that it's clear. Anything beyond that, to me, is unnecessary and works against you as the business owner, because anything above that is going to cost time. And time is something, in my opinion, that should be very valuable to everybody. Now, granted, you may have a buyer who has all the time in the world and wants to question every single thing that they see while they're with you, okay? To me, that's a great waste of time. When you price that job, you're pricing it at a particular hourly rate that you have in your head. You are pricing it based on looking at that property before you price it and saying, yeah, that's going to take me 2 or 3 hours to quote or to inspect on site. But if you have a talkative buyer with you asking questions at every turn, that could turn into a very long inspection. And then you have the realtor scratching their head wondering what's taking you so long, because Inspector A, okay, who you're trying to supplant on her list or his list, would have done that house in 2/3 of the time that you did it in. So let's not even go there. Let's tell the buyer not to follow us. Let's say at the beginning of the inspection, hi, Joe Buyer, nice to meet you. My name is Pete. Tell you a couple things about the inspection and my process. I'm going to start on the outside, or I'm going to start on the roof, or I'm going to start in the attic, and I'm going to work my way through the house. And every time that I go through a section, as I see you, I will give you an update verbally. You don't need to follow me around. You don't need to take notes, because I'm going to document all of that for you, and I'm going to answer any questions that you have when we're doing our little reviews. Now, I will continue on through the home, and since most of the good stuff is in the utility room or in the basement, by the time I get through that, I will come find you and walk you step by step through your mechanicals. So that way, you have the opportunity to check out the house on your own while I'm working for you and keeping you updated. Now, 99 out of 100 buyers are going to be totally cool with that. And they go along, and they go along with it, and they understand it, okay? Nobody wants to follow anybody around and look over somebody's shoulder while they're doing a serious job. If you're that type of person, I think that's rude, personally. Sorry. So that's how you lay out that expectation. Now you can go about your job and be efficient with it and be quick, because the buyer's not tagging along. The next tip that I like to share is that your data collection process needs to be efficient. And so what do I mean by that? Well, as we go along through the house, we are collecting data. We're either entering it onto our tablets or our laptops or our cell phones, or we're taking pictures with our camera, or we are recording our comments on a digital voice recorder, or we're taking notes on a clipboard, okay? Old school. So to me, because I'm an old school guy. When my guys started using the on-site tablets and the cell phones to enter the data into a commercial reporting software, they were maybe more adept at navigating the cell phone that's the size of the palm of your hand, and picking out the right call outs and inserting the pictures. Okay, believe it or not, eventually I got that good using it as well. But in the beginning, I just took pictures, because taking pictures would then allow me to go through the house very quickly, taking pictures. And then at the end of the inspection, when everybody's done, when I say goodbye to everybody, then I put that data into the report on my time, maybe in between till the next inspection that day, or later back at home in my own office on my time. So I kind of transferred the inspection time off of the realtor and the buyer and put it more on my time. And so I could populate whatever report template I was using later, because I had all the pictures. And oh, by the way, I also recorded everything that I saw in a digital voice recorder, tape recorder, which is simple to use. Okay, so that way I didn't lose any time stopping to punch up this call out or that call out, and then make a revision, and then enter the attach the picture to it. So that allowed me to go quickly, and realtors like that. I didn't miss anything. I was very thorough. No other inspector was going to find something that I didn't see. So, all things equal, which inspector is more attractive to the realtor? The guy who takes twice as long than the guy who does the same report and the same thing but does it quicker? Everyone's going to choose the quicker guy. And so that is one way, one method of making that inspection quicker, because once you start going here, you have to be able to do inspections at a very efficient pace if you want to grow your business, and if you want to teach others to do the same thing in your business. So that to me was important. Ease of data collection, and not sitting there and building the report, while everyone's waiting on me to get through the inspection. Another trick of the trade that I developed, and some of the experienced inspectors who watch this may not like this, but it never failed me in thousands of inspections, and I love to do it, is when I would inspect a roof, I wouldn't get my ladder out if I knew that I could crawl out of a second floor bedroom window to walk the roof. Just think about it. It takes time to take your ladder out of your car or your truck, set it up and climb up that way, and then put it down. The simple way to do it is to open a window and carefully walk out on the roof if you can, or take your pictures from that window. But for me, 9 out of 10 times, it was simple to just walk out that window, climb up and inspect the whole roof, and then come back in. So that's what I did for years, and it saved me a lot of time. So that worked well for me. And so then other efficiency tips, and this is a big one, and it's the last one I'm going to leave you with, is don't talk about yourself. Don't tell stories to your buyers or your realtors because you have something that they think will find interesting. Okay, they don't. Just keep it to yourself. Be friendly, be conversational, but don't spend more than a couple minutes conversing with a client or a realtor that is not related to you inspecting that house. Some guys can't help themselves, and they like to talk about themselves. I'm not that kind of person. Well, my wife might argue that, but if you want to be efficient on site and capture ongoing realtor referrals and new realtors, okay, don't make it about yourself. Okay, you're just, it's not professional, and it will slow down the inspection, and that works to nobody's benefit at all. So keep that in mind. So this video has gone on long enough, so I will let you go with my efficiency tips. Hope all is well with you guys.